about the implementation of business intelligence. When we think of implementing this business intelligence system for the organization, it is also a big task and it requires certain for a set form of steps to be followed. How will this be implemented? The basic steps would be: step 1, raw data from the corporate databases it is extracted. The data, it could be spread across multiple systems which are heterogeneous. So basically, when we implement this business intelligence system, what we need to do, first of all, the very important thing that is a source on the basis of which any kind of decision would be taken. So the basic and the most important source is the data. Now this data, it will be collected from various databases, and these databases, they may be storing the data in their own format. So they will be different heterogeneous systems. Heterogeneous system, why we are saying here is because they all will be storing this data in their own format, in their own way. So that is why the data, it will be extracted from various heterogeneous systems. Step 2, the data, it is cleaned and transformed into the data warehouse. After the data, it is got collected from the databases, now this data has to be stored into the data warehouse, where before storing it, the data has to be cleaned. Like there would be some duplication in the data, there will be some data which is not acceptable, there would be certain null values where the data is not specified. So all this data has to be cleaned properly and transformed into the data warehouse, so that whatever structure we have defined for our data warehouse, this data, after cleaning, it gets transformed into the data warehouse structure. Now the table, it can be linked and the data cubes are formed into the data warehouse. How we store the this data? There are various tables onto which this data will be stored, and these tables, they are to be linked together. There are various data cubes which we normally called OLAP cube, on which the data will be stored. It will be stored into the cubical format, like you must have seen the cube. So how the data gets stored onto the cube? There will be three different dimensions from which the data can be accessed. Like if we want to retrieve any data, if we normally store it into the 2D structure, what happens in the 2D structure? We can only take two dimension of it. One can be the time, another can be the region, on the basis of which we can access the data. If we stored into the data cube format, we can enter one more dimension to it. Like we can enter along with time and region, the product name, or any other dimension can be added. So we prefer storing the data in the form of data cube, and data cube analysis help us in easy and faster retrieval of our data. Then after storing the data, what happens in step 3? Using the business intelligence system, the user, he can ask the queries. He can request the ad hoc reports, and using the business intelligence system, the user can ask queries. He can request any kind of ad hoc reports or conduct any further analysis. So using our business intelligence system, once we have got the data from the databases, we have cleaned it, we have transformed it into the form of data warehouses where we store the data into the tables, or we can store the data into the form of cubes, data cubes. Now using these business intelligence system, now the user can ask the queries. He can request the ad hoc reports, or he can conduct any other analysis on the data. He can create graph, he can create charts, he can create summaries, he can create dashboards. Any kind of analysis on this data can now be done with the help of business intelligence system. Talking about the types of business intelligence user, we can generally categorize these business intelligence users into 4 categories. The very first person who can use or who uses this business intelligence system is a professional data analyst. The data analyst, it, he is a statistician who always need to drill deep down into the data. So the person who is going to drill deep down into the data, who can analyze the data in a much deeper way, so that is a professional data analyst. Business intelligence system, they help them to get fresh insight to develop the unique business strategies. So there is a professional data analyst who can drill down the data, who can understand the data in a very well format, who can do all kind of analysis on the data. So that data he can retrieve from the business intelligence system and work on this data. Then we have the IT users. The IT users, they also play a dominant role in maintaining the business intelligence infrastructure. This business intelligence infrastructure has to be maintained for it to function well. So who is going to do this job of maintaining the infrastructure? It is going to be done by the IT users. Then we have the head of the company, the CEO or the CXO, which is the chief executive officer or the chief experience officer. They can increase the profit of their business by improving the operational efficiency in their business. Definitely, this business intelligence tool, this is going to be very helpful for the head of the company who need to make better strategy, who take decisions for the organization, for the for gaining more profit, for increasing the profit of the organization. So the head of the company, he is definitely going to use this business intelligence tool. Then we have the general business users. Business intelligence users, they can be found from across the organization. There are mainly 2 types of business users that we can see. One, the casual business intelligence users who generally want to analyze some data, depending on which they will work on the improvement of data, or they can check the day-to-day transactions. So these are the casual business intelligence user who can use this business intelligence tool. Then there are the power user who have more authority into the organization, who can work on the betterment of taking decision into the organization. So these are the power users. So basically, if we have to categorize our business users into 4 categories, we can categorize them as: first, the professional data analyst who will keep the drill down analysis of data. Then we have the IT users who will maintain the business intelligence infrastructure. Then we have the head of the company who can use this business intelligence tool for the improvement of the organization's profit. Then we have the general business users, in which again we have some casual business intelligence users and some power users. Let us understand the difference between some general, how we can make use of information, and how the business intelligence tool will help us. So let us see. If we have general information, like there's a person who is maintaining the product database, what can he do? He can add a new product line for the organization. He can change the product price. If we have fixed some price for the product, there is a person, product manager we can say, who can change the product price. And what database he maintains? He maintains the product database. Now the information from this product database will be going to the data warehouse. In the data warehouse, this data will be retrieved. Now, what happens at the level of business intelligence? We will see that what is the change in revenue due to the new product line and due to the change in the price of the product. So that is what is done by the business intelligence tool. The first one, that is called online transaction processing in which the general transactions take place. That means we can add a new product line, we can change a product price. So all these things happen. Now, how are they going to work for the organization? That thing we need to gather using the online analytical processing, using the business intelligence tool. So this business intelligence tool will tell us that adding a new product line or changing the price of the product, what result will occur because of it? What will be the change in revenue for the company because of doing this? So that is what the business intelligence tool does. Similarly, let us say there's a person who is taking care of the advertising part. So he suppose decides to change the advertising, or he decides to increase the radio. So that will again be stored into his advertising database. This database information will be going to the data warehouse. Now, at the business intelligence level, it will be checked that what is the increase in the customer by changing the advertising or by adding some new budget, increasing the budget. So what, or increasing the radio, we can say. So what is the increase in the customer? So that is what happens at the business intelligence level. In a very similar way, we can say there is a customer demographic database where all the database about the customer is maintained. Now, the person, the manager there, he decides to increase the customer credit limit. That let me increase the credit limit of the customer so that he purchases more. He can say he can make more purchases, or we can change the customer salary level. Now, at the business intelligence level, what will happen? So at the business intelligence level, it will be detected that can the customer support this credit limit increase, or can the change in the salary level going to be useful, profitable for the organization? Can the customer afford this high price product? So that will be checked at the business intelligence level. So the general transaction that we do, that is called OLTP, online transaction processing, and the analytical processing which takes place at the business intelligence level, that is called OLAP, online analytical processing. So like we have seen, the information or the data from number of heterogeneous databases, whether it is a product database, it is an advertising database, it is a customer demographic database, which are all maintained by different people. So all these information from these databases will enter to the data warehouse, and now our business intelligence tool, it is going to make use of this data warehouse to take better decisions for the organization. That whenever we do some changes at the minor level, what impact it is going to be produced at the final level. Will there be more profits doing these things, or can there be losses also, or will there be no improvement in the organization's profit? So all these decisions, they take place at the business intelligence level. Now, talking about the advantages of business intelligence. The very first thing, see, now we have seen after we make some transaction, we get to know before doing this implementation that whether we have taking the right decisions. Are we doing these steps, will they improve our organization profit? And once we get to know of this, we can use this business intelligence tool to attain more profit. So talking about the advantages of business intelligence, first of all, it will boost the productivity. With a business intelligence program, it is possible for businesses to create the reports with a single click. Thus, it saves a lot of time, lot of resources. It allows all the employees to be more productive on their task. So definitely, if you're using this business intelligence tool into your system, into your organization, with just single click, you can make the whole analysis of your data. You can create any kind of reports, charts, and depending on that thing, we save a lot of time, we save a lot of resources. So in since this is all happening with just a single click, if we are using the business intelligence tool, so definitely it allows the employees to be more productive in other tasks. So the very first advantage of using this business intelligence tool is it boosts the productivity of the company. Secondly, to improve the visibility. It also helps to improve the visibility of these processes and make it possible to identify any areas which need attention. So definitely, if we are using this business intelligence tool, we can improve on the visibility of our processes, that what all processes are we doing, what all areas need more attention, what areas are not uh, being used for more profit, so they need more attention, or how can we think of improvement of those processes which are not performing to a specific level. So obviously it improves the product visibility for the people of the organization. Then third advantage of using business intelligence is it fixes the accountability. Somebody has to be given the accountability. So business intelligence system, it assigns the accountability in the organization, as there must be someone who should be own who should own the accountability and the ownership for the organization's performance against its set goals. Against his own goals, he should take this ownership. Yes, if I want to make certain changes, if I want to increase the price of the product, so in that case, how much profitable that thing would be. So business intelligence system, what does it do? It assigns the accountability in the organization, so that a person should own the responsibility or the ownership, so that organization can reach its set goals. Talking about another advantage that we have when we are using this business intelligence tool is it gives a bird's eye view. Business intelligence system, they also help the organization as the decision makers and get an overall bird's eye view through typical business intelligence features like the dashboards and the scorecards. So business intelligence tools, these system, they provide the organization the overall bird's view. How is that bird's view? So that they can see the whole perspective of the organization using various dashboards, using various scorecards and all, so that they can analyze, they can take better decisions. So it gives the overall system performance view, organization's performance view to the decision makers. So we can say this business intelligence tool, they definitely give an a bird's eye view to the people. Next advantage is it streamlines the business processes. Business intelligence, they take out all the complexity that is associated with the business processes. It also automates the analytics by offering predictive analysis, by offering computer modeling, benchmarking, and other methodologies. So basically the task of analysis, that we want to do some kind of predictive analysis, that if we change the price of this product, if we increase the price of this product, will the sale reduce, or will the sale remain the same so that we can gain more profit, or should we reduce the price of particular product if there is more competitor into the market. So in that case, in this way, it will provide this overall view. It will provide or it will streamline the various business processes. So it takes out all the complexity that is associated with the various business processes, because in a business there are a number of processes that are taking place related to the production, related to marketing, related to the sales, related to number of things. So it basically streamlines all the business processes so that they can be analyzed and worked on in a better way. Then it allows for easy analytics. Obviously all kind of analysis, it can be done easily if we are using these kinds of business intelligence software. Business intelligence software, it has democratized its uses, allowing even non-technical or non-analyst user to collect and process the data quickly. This also allows putting the power of analytics from the hands many people. So even the non-technical people, if they want to analyze the data, if they are not having much of the information related to how can they create the charts, how can they use the charts, still they will be provided with all kind of these views by just a simple click if they are using these business intelligence software. So if they do this analysis in a better way, it will definitely help the organization reach gain its profit in a better way. So it basically allows for easy analytics.